All right, welcome to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel, your go-to place for non-staff, non-biased, multi-style reviews. My name is Chris, and I'm here to bring the high ref perspective.
And my name is Josh, and I will be bringing the low ref perspective.
All right, today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Motiv Max Thrill Hybrid, and I'm going to be comparing it to the 3D Offset Assault and the IQ Tour AI.
And I'll be comparing it to the Hammerhead and the Evoke Hysteria. These reviews will give us and you an idea of what these rocks look like going down the lane. At the end, we will give our honest, non-biased review of these pieces anywhere from nuts to trash. So make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you out on the lanes.
All right, just wrapped up throwing the brand new Motiv Max Thrill Hybrid, and for me here at Bolero Via Linda, bowling on their house shot, I really like this one going down the lane. It was pretty clean through the front part of the lane, but you can actually see it define like want to start up and make the corner, and it was actually pretty continuous, which I actually really liked out of it. So now we're gonna go ahead and compare that to the IQ Tour AI. I just finished throwing the Storm IQ Tour AI, and these two definitely fit the same part of the bag. I feel like they're very similar. I feel like the IQ Tour AI is maybe just a little bit cleaner. I feel like it comes a little bit more shiny out of box than the Max Thrill Hybrid. I feel like it might just be a little bit quicker off the end of the pattern as well. So now we're going to go ahead and compare to the 3D Offset Assault. All right, just wrapped up throwing the 3D Offset Assault, and with this one being a little bit on the mild asymmetric side, I definitely had to move a little bit further to the left than I was with the Max Thrill Hybrid, and I definitely really saw more of it wanting to start up and go a little bit more forward through the pins than the Max Thrill Hybrid. The Max Thrill Hybrid definitely was a little bit more angular and slightly more continuous as well. All right, final thoughts on the new Motiv Max Thrill Hybrid. I actually really liked this one going down the lane. I didn't have a ton of expectations for this one, but it really impressed me. I really liked how easy it was to the front part of the lane, and the way it saw the friction. I felt like I kind of had room anywhere. I missed in a couple times, and it really started up and still was pretty continuous through the pins. So I'm gonna have to give this one a fire. I really like this one going down the lane.
Just wrapped up throwing 10 shots with the Motiv Thrill Hybrid. This ball for me was kind of an underdog. I felt like going into it, I wasn't really didn't know what to expect out of this ball, and I felt like it just kept striking. They hooked quite a bit in the fronts, and this ball was able to get through that. It almost felt like it was going through it too much, but when it got down lane, it still hooked, no matter really where I threw it, and was shaping beautifully for what was out there. It hooked enough, but it wasn't so angular to where I didn't know what it was doing. It still continued through the pins with enough angle, and I just felt like this is the type of ball I would want to throw when they're like this. Almost gave me like an Arctic vibe kind of feel to it, but I really enjoyed the way this ball went through the pins. Now we're going to go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Hammer Hammerhead and see how it compares. Just wrapped up throwing the 5 shots with the Hammer Hammerhead. This ball was a little earlier than the Thrill, but fairly, in my eye, I felt like they were actually pretty similar. The Hammerhead like hooked a lot sooner, but the shape down the lane was very smooth and very rounded, like the Thrill. I felt like I had to get it to friction, because if I cut it into oil, it just kind of sailed. But it overall just was a little bit like a stronger version of this Thrill. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Motiv Evoke Hysteria and see how it compares. Just threw 5 shots with the Evoke Hysteria. I felt like this ball hooked a lot sooner and was more forward of a motion. Definitely a ball up from the Thrill. However, it still was kind of comparable. You know, if I'm throwing this Evoke, I can see myself having the ball change into the Thrill once they start to hook a little bit more. And for what we were bowling on today, this Evoke was a little bit too big. I felt like even if I kept it in front of me, it still hooked off spot, and then it just kept forcing me further and further left, which even though they're hooking, I still try to play as straight as I can, but I really couldn't do that with this ball. Final thoughts on the Motiv Thrill Hybrid. I felt like this ball shocked me. I thought going into it, I didn't really, like I said, didn't have any expectation, but I felt like coming out of this ball is definitely going in my bag and possibly even coming with me to nationals. But this ball for me, I'm gonna have to rate it a fire. I felt like when there's friction and when it hooks really everywhere, but mainly in the early part of the lane, I feel like this ball will actually get through that spot and still allow you to have a smooth, controllable shape down the lane. Really like this one for today.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.